Hi and welcome back to Zalaris Norseman Extreme Triathlon. We are now outside the Vøringsfoss Hotel and there's a lot of things going on here in Eidfjord. We've been to the wake-up run today. You attended to the morning run. I didn't. There has been yoga or Pilates and also the morning swim.
For sure.
Yes, for sure. And now we're going to take a tour and have a little talk to the medical team and the research team, which is quite interesting. There is, as I said, a lot going on. So let's go in and check it out, okay?
And we also see here at the front of the hotel we have precision fuel and hydration standing here and showing products for the athletes. There's also a big photo wall, as there always is. Possibilities to make some memories here at the Vøringsfoss Hotel, which is the place, Jakob, that most of the people actually live here when they're at Fjord.
Yes, and this is a beautiful hotel with a beautiful view on the other side over the fjord. So it's a really nice place to stay, and also here is where the ferry is on the other side. So you can spectate everything.
Yeah, and we also have Argon 18 Velocity Sport standing here and actually helping athletes with their bikes. And there's always some last-minute preparation, some gears that has to be adjusted, brake pads have to be changed, and some bikes has also gotten some bad treatment on the flight here to Norway. And we also have to remember that a lot of the athletes are actually coming from abroad, and a flight for a bike can be quite harsh, Jakob.
Yes, I think there was about 2/3 of the athletes coming from abroad, and we talked to some guys yesterday that had not even received their bikes yet, so they're waiting for their bikes today actually. So it's quite exciting to see if they get here before the start tomorrow morning.
There's a lot of expensive bikes here, for sure, and of course people have been preparing for a long time, and there's this feeling of safety, I think, for the athletes, knowing that we have really good mechanics here who are able to help the athletes with problems that have risen on the brink of the race. But Jakob, should we move into let's
move in and
registration?
See. Yes. So this is where all the athletes have to go through to check in for the race, both the athlete and one of the crew, and they have to do a check with the backpacks and sign the what is it said, the
liability.
The liability, yes. And here also we have Bent giving the last information. So we're not going to interrupt him right now. We're going to talk to Bent a little bit later.
Please go back to right-hand side, driving.
But a good advice is to listen to Bent, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. And Bent has been here as crew, and he has also done Norseman some years ago, and he has a lot of experience. And I think that a lot of the athletes who meet Bent, both in front of the race and during the race, feel really safe, because there's nothing that he can't answer that the athletes are wondering about. So a good man with good experience, for sure.
And actually Bent was one of the reasons that I wanted to start with the triathlon a lot of years ago, because I thought if he can do it, I can do it. And so he's a good guy and a good inspiration as well. So we're just going to walk through this check-in. I think they're kind of busy right now. There's about 250 to 60 people are registering here, and they're going through all the backpacks to check if everything is okay. So.
And they're receiving their starting bibs, of course, but also their GPS trackers and some last-minute information that are crucial for the athletes, of course.
Yes. So if we move on the back here, we're going through to the not medical, but the research team, which is quite exciting. So we're going to just go over here to our friend. Hello there.
How are you?
We didn't warn you, but here we are.
Oh, that's great. That's great. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Very well at the moment.
So we are interested to hear a little bit about what you are doing here together with Zalaris Norseman with your research program.
Well, it's a lot of really interesting stuff that we're actually doing. We've been doing this for many years now, but in essence, what we're trying to do is actually to explore what actually happens with your lungs and heart and other parts of the body as well, while doing something as extreme as the Zalaris Norseman Extreme Triathlon. So we're doing some blood tests. We're doing some lung tests as well to see how is your lung functioning at the moment. And we do all these tests the day before at the registration. We do it in the finish line and the day after. So we're actually trying to see what changes. How is this changing, and analyze this to know more about the body.
And we had a little talk earlier this morning. And how is it to do research out in the field like this in an event like the Norseman Extreme Triathlon?
Well, this is quite unique experience. Well, there can't be anything like this, and it's very cool, very positive experience. Such a good crowd to actually be around, the whole environment and the people around here and the athletes as well. It's such a great experience to be here, and it's so real because you're in the field. You're doing this not in a laboratory, you're doing it where the people are, where everyone is at the same time. So very cool and a great experience on all parts. It's hectic, and you have to have your tongue right in the middle of the mouth when you're doing this. So
That's quite interesting, and you also have all the equipment moved from Eidfjord and all the way to the finish line. Is that correct?
That's correct. So we have to move a lot of these heavy equipment and machineries right here. These are centrifuges to spin the blood that we're sampling. And we have to carry it all the way up to the top of the mountain as well to do our analysis there and then at the finish line.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But you have done this over the span of many years now. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have found through the research?
Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff that we actually find in our research. A lot of it hasn't been published yet. So I have to say that some of these are preliminary studies and findings at this point. But one of the most striking things that we actually see is that the same markers in the blood that you can find when you're having, for example, a heart attack or a heart failure, they go sky high when you get in when you're at the finish line, and then they slowly go down again to the day after. So everything works out, but you can imagine if you have, for some reason, you end up at the hospital while in a race like this, then the doctor's there, they take you in, you have a shortness of breath, of course, you've been doing this and it's hard to breathe, and they see the blood works and it's, wow, it looks like you're having a heart attack. So you're kind of forced to treat it as the doctor then, but our research is now kind of showing that this is a normal situation for actually athletes doing something this extreme. So it's very important that we actually try to characterize what are actually the different values for a person doing something extreme as this. So that's one of the things, but it looks like your whole body is kind of like shutting down when you're in the finish line. Kidney failure, it could look like on the blood works, and also the lung tests are showing a very reduced function compared to what it was in a normal situation when you came here the day before. So it's quite interesting. You can see that it has a huge toll on the body there and then, and luckily, it kind of goes back to normal again. For many people, a lot already in the second day or the day after. Yeah, so that's great.
But this knowledge is extremely helpful. As you say, if an athlete during a race like this, and there are races like this all over the world, come into hospital, that they don't get unnecessary treatment. But can you say something about, okay, you mentioned now that you have all the markers for lung failure and heart attack. Is it... You are a medical doctor.
Yeah.
What can you say about doing stuff like this? Is this a good idea over the long term, or is it bad for the body?
Yeah. That's like the $100,000 question. Everyone's trying to figure this out because in some regard you can tell it's hard to say how damaging will this actually be for the body in the long term. And if we just take like the results right then and there in the finish line, everyone in the right mind would say that, oh, this can't be good for the body. But it's not necessarily true because it's very hard to do like long-term studies on this. And at the moment, you don't have enough data to say anything definite in this point. So it might not be that this is not as bad or even beneficial on the long term, but there's a lot of things also saying that maybe you shouldn't do this way too many times. You know, there's a threshold for everything. So there's a sweet spot, and the more research we do on this, the more close we will get to find this sweet spot. What's like the amount you can actually sustain over some period of time. And I have to emphasize, there's huge individual variations on this as well, and it's very important that you don't expect to be the average person from a study. That you have to consider each and every individual in this regard as well. So, unfortunately, I can't give you a definitive answer. For some people, this will be not such a good idea to do many times. For others, no harm, no foul done, and many people will actually benefit a lot from both the exercise, but maybe not so much from the actual participation and the strenuous activity right then and there. But maybe in the long term, indirectly, this will be a very positive experience for many people doing this 1 or 2 times, maybe.
So the bottom line is the process, the project is a really good thing. The competition will be quite harsh on the body, but maybe better than lying on the couch eating chips.
At least that's what I get from this. My personal intuition on this as well is the same as you're describing right now. I think so as well. So better to be a Norseman extreme athlete than a couch potato, I guess.
Frode, we're really looking forward to seeing the results of the research, seeing the papers, and I think that endurance events from all around the world, ultra running events, swim runs, long triathlons will benefit massively from the knowledge that you guys here find here at Zalaris Extreme Norseman Triathlon. And the best of luck during the weekend.
Thank you very much, and I hope the same for the rest of you guys and all the athletes as well participating here. Yeah.